This Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Daf Mem Hey in the article Ozvar edition, Mamish right at the top, and in the Vilna edition, it is on Chaf Alpha base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines for the bottom. So there's a header for a Mishnah. Our Mishnah we said. Let's go through the Mishnah again because it's important to remember what it says. Taken from a baker. Ma'aser min hachama. You can take ma'aser from hot on cold. Min hachama, cold and hot. I feel fusim harba even it's many different shapes. Divi Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Oser. He says, Asi says, Shemer chitim shel emesh hayu mishlacha. The yesterday's chitim were some one guy. Shemer mishlacha, and from today it's another guy. Rabbi Shimon Omer b'tshumas also b'tshumas ma'aser. Right, it was matir b'chala. Why is it matir b'chala? Now we're going to discuss that. So the first one it says makes an inference. If Rabbi Shimon is matir b'chala, must be Rabbi Yehuda also b'chala. As Rabbi Yehuda forbids you to take to chala from one day on the next day. So he nit beles does not become tevel by him. In other words, whatever happened in the past, passed. That's the term of Meisers. But challah, the chiyuv is now on the dough. So therefore, it doesn't matter whether it's yesterday, today. He's making the dough now. Why should not take off from yesterday's on today's on yesterday's? What difference does it make? The Shai brings down from the grog. Here's a so unique bellis. The same idea. He's the one who's making the batter. So it must be Rabbi Yehuda's talking about a case where he borrows tamei sourdough. The fact that it's tamei is not necessarily relevant here, but he borrows sour to make his dough. So the sourdough he borrowed, so we don't know its status, right? So when he takes sourdough on one day. Actually, why now? What difference does it make? Emesh hayom. Okay, so what it means is that every day he takes sourdough, and that's from somebody else, and that sourdough he takes from somebody else. We don't know its status, so therefore you can't do it from yesterday and today, or from day yesterday, because who knows what status the sourdough had, and therefore yesterday could be the sourdough could be potter, today the sourdough could be chayev, or vice versa. So one is not happy with that. I feel okay. Lo etzlo need beles. Sourdough, we don't care about its status. Sourdough is batel in the Esau. Yes, it's a catalyst for the Esau for the total rise, but its status is not what determines whether you have to take a challah or not. Even the challah is taking over sourdough. Right now, sourdough is not relevant. It's batel in the chiyuv. So therefore, why can't you take off from one day on the other day, regardless of where you got the sourdough from? So it shouldn't make a difference. Ela b'shol kikar tami lamalos tanuro. So it's talking about where he borrows presumably a dough, because he's baking, has not bake. He borrows a dough from somebody else to fill his oven. So then you can't take from one or the other. But then we're asking this question: b'mishol kikar lamalos tanuro. Shaita so says changes maaser to yaser, but the point is about challah in any event. But so the yaser mikol kikar v'kikar, and then it's not a question of today, yesterday. Let me just focus on that yesterday, today. It's a question of on each and every loaf. Is this the loaf which had challah taken off, or loaf which didn't have challah taken off? Today, that's my yom hazeh. What's up to yesterday? El Rabbi Yochanan. So Rad's going Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan Amar kan ba'osa b'tara, kan ba'osa b'tuma. So it depends whether he's osa b'tara, osa b'tuma. If he's osa b'tara, then we don't assume that he's taking from that there's a difference between one day and the next day. Doesn't matter. But if he's osa b'tuma, so we assume there can be a difference between one day and the next day, because it's his osa b'tuma. So therefore, he can borrow dough from other people, and one day and the next day not. And if he borrows dough, maybe that's chal taken off. Maybe the chal didn't take it off, but certainly you can't assume whatever is true one day is true follows the next day, and therefore you have to take off challah independently. So again, he's borrowing dough, but that's only when he does a betuma. But when a person does betara, we're not going to borrow dough because he's not. He doesn't know the other people are makbid on tuma betara. So therefore, our mission is talking about where is oisa betuma, and therefore he can be borrowing dough from other people. Yeah. So the Ella Rabbi Lezer. Okay, but what about Kohen Rabbi Lezer? Kohen Rabbi Lezer, he Omar kan b'kan ba'osa b'tara. In both cases, we're talking about where you're osa b'tara. In other words, even our Mishnah is talking about, could be talking about a case of osa b'tara. So that's the case. He he's not borrowing. So he's not borrowing. So again, why should yesterday and today be different? Presumably we should he either took up challah, didn't take up challah. Presumably he took up challah, right? So why should you have to be chayshish when you buy from him? So so at this point, Shari Torah Yisrael puts in a line, which is from the Gra. Amar Mitzania, Bapalti Masnisa, and therefore he says the whole next piece is going. That Rabbi Matanya said that this chiluk, this Rabbi Shimon doesn't argue in the first Mishnah. He argues in the next Mishnah. But it makes it very confusing to me that way. I will say in my Gemara that Hemshech Perish Ashari Teretz Yisrael lo nearly. So the Hemshech is without adding. We say Am Rabbi Yudan Avoid Rabbi Tzania B'Oisa B'Tuma Kaiminon. Now we're talking about here our Mishnah. You're right. It's not gonna work out. It's Oisa B'Tara. It has to be Oisa B'Tuma. The etz the etzlo nit belis. Now, if it becomes tevo by him, then af Rabbi Huda modeba. Even Rabbi Huda concedes the point that you can mafish challah from one or the other. So the Tanakh Rabbi Shimon osim b'chumas meiser. We don't know because only the grain is the matir b'challah. So before I talk about borrowing bread, right? If you borrowing dough is a problem. But if he doesn't borrow dough, he needs everything by himself. So then, Enochanami, both Rabbi and Rabbi Shimon would agree in that case. There's not be chayshish, and it's all one thing, and either it's chayiv challah or not chayiv challah. And the Gemara goes on. The tiny king. Evidently, we have a brisa to this effect. Rabbi Shimon osim both osim chumas mice. Did I just read this? I don't know if I did. Over here, mother tiny king Rabbi Shimon. I did. Osim chumas mice matir b'chala. Sorry. Rabbi Huda oser b'chumas meiser umatir b'chala. When Rabbi Shimon osim chumas meiser umatir b'chala. This brisa. So ma b'neim. What's the nafkamina between them? Al daiti the Rabbi Huda eno mafrish mishel hayom al shel emesh, v'lo mishel emesh al hayom. So the difference is, like it said in our Mishnah, when it comes to Chumas Meiser, so the according to Rabbi Yehuda, you cannot separate from today on yesterday, and not from yesterday on today. Which okay, al shel hayom, but on today's, everything comes from today. Mafresh min atano al atano. You can set aside, you can be mafresh from one oven on another oven, right? We're talking about the buyer can assume that even if he's buying from two separate ovens, two separate runs, that he can take off Shumas Meiser from on one on the other one. Of course, going back to the case where Challah, but Shumas Meiser is the issue. So, but that's according to Rabbi Yehuda. But according to Rabbi Shimon, Al Daita Rabbi Shimon, I feel me not Tanu in Mafresh. No, even from oven to oven on the same day, you can't be Mafresh. So Rabbi Shimon is more Machmir by Shumas Meiser than Rabbi Yehuda. Because Rabbi Yehuda says, from yesterday on today, no. But from today on today, yes. But according to Rabbi Shimon, no, not even from today on today. Halacha Dalit. Halacha about if somebody buys from the retailer. Meiser called tfus to tfus. He has to take meiser of each and every type of challah which he buys with different molds. It assumes that each mold, each shape is a different. Each pan, not each shape. Each pan is a different from different source, because the powder is a retailer. The very mayor. The mayor Mechel can take from one on all of them. No, we assume that we assume that he that it's all from one batch. So he buys from a monopoly. So this guy has a monopoly on all the bread in town. No, for sure, it's getting from lots of places. So if you have to take meiser off each and every one, because you don't know which comes from where, which comes from where. And that brings us to the end of the Mishnah, Mem Vav Amud Aleph. So we'll stop here.